Oh, you again. Hey, I'm rereading Swan 2-3, my bestseller from last year. Starting to work on the follow-up, the sequel, which is going to be great, but I got to remember all the details, and frankly, I just like reading my own book, so yeah, hey, here's where I am. This is from chapter 2, called Blind Bat, which is a special mission that was done in Vietnam. The date, August 23, 1970. Reggie had just come back from a mission. So, after every mission, the crew gathered in the squadron training room for a mission debrief. Today's debrief was thankfully short, but just as they're about to leave, the operations officer stuck his head into the room. Reggie, the CEO wants to see you ASAP. You know what about? No, but he doesn't seem pleased. Great. Not sure how I ended up on his radar. Is he in his office? No. He wants to see you in the first sergeant's office. What? This can't be good. As he exited the room, the rest of the crew started blowing him kisses, and the squadron chaplain made the sign of the cross. The operations officer just shook his head and made a low whistling sound. Upon entering the first sergeant's office, he stood at attention and started to report to the CO. First Lieutenant Reginald Moore reporting as the CO cut him short. Colonel Jonathan G. Wainwright III sat behind the first sergeant's desk. His uniform was immaculate despite the heat and humidity. His reputation as a by-the-book military officer was admired by his peers and hated by his troops. Moore, I believe you know my wife, Melissa, he said, pointing to his wife sitting in a chair just to his left. Mrs. Wainwright managed a slight smile while she was introduced. Yes, sir, we met last year when I first arrived. She was kind enough to throw a party for all the new squadron arrivals. It's a pleasure to see you again, Mrs. Wainwright. I wasn't sure that you were back visiting. Mrs. Wainwright looked as if she is about to speak, but the colonel beat her to it. Mrs. Wainwright received a letter from the owner of the bar just off base called G.I. Joey's. The owner and Mrs. Wainwright met at a meeting regarding local charities to help orphaned children some time ago. It seems that you spend a lot of time at G.I. Joey's, is that correct? Sir, sometimes I go there during the day to cool off and drink, but I wouldn't say that I spend a lot of... Colonel Wainwright held up his hand as if to cut him off. It has also come to our attention that sometimes you use the premises to sleep, correct? Yes, sir. There have been a couple of occasions when, again, the hand went up. So let me get this straight. After missions, when you are supposed to be on crew rest to prepare for your next mission, you have occasion to visit G.I. Joey's to partake of alcohol and sometimes sleep. Is that a correct statement? Mrs. Wainwright tried to hide the smile on her face as her husband recounted the facts. The smug look on her face made Reggie's stomach turn. No, sir. Yes, sir. Sort of, sir. It's not a daily occurrence, but there have been a few occasions when I have visited and end up taking a nap in the back room. I assure you that it was never my intent to break any regulations regarding, again, the hand went up. It was at that instant that Reggie realized he couldn't win, so he tried a different tactic. Sir, I have a confession to make. We're listening, Lieutenant. The owner of G.I. Joey's has a daughter named Mai. I first met her at church and we kind of hit it off. I haven't had the courage to tell her how much I like her, so I spend much of my time at G.I. Joey's just to be around her. The look at Mrs. Wainwright's face changed dramatically. She went from looking dour to looking like the cat that had swallowed the canary. To be honest, sir, since coming here, my girlfriend back in the States sent me a letter telling me that she found someone else. I was heartbroken until I met Mai. I just haven't had the wherewithal to tell her how I feel. I know it may look bad, but I just go there hoping to finally get her attention and tell her how I feel, sir. Reggie tried to keep a sad face. Of course, the whole story was fabricated, but it seemed to have done the trick. Mrs. Wainwright was obviously touched, and it even reached out to touch her husband's arm when she heard. Colonel Wainwright sat back in his chair, squinted his eyes at Reggie, and was about to speak when his wife interrupted. Lieutenant Moore, you poor thing. I know Colonel Wainwright can relate to your predicament. I remember when we first met. It took him weeks to finally ask me out. Once he finally did, we realized that we were meant for each other. Isn't that true, dear? The colonel nodded slowly and showed a feeble smile. Luckily for you, I know Mai from our church meetings. She's such a sweet girl and so pretty. I believe this entire misunderstanding can be resolved quite easily. I will contact Mai's father and let him know of your intentions, so he won't feel uncomfortable about you visiting G.I. Joey so often. Oh, and tonight, there's a special church meeting starting at 7 p.m. I'm sure that Mai will be there. Why don't you come? And I will make sure that you have a seat nearby. Reggie was now smiling feebly, and the colonel seemed to be taking it all in with a big grin. Well, I think that's enough for that chapter. I finished on page 24. If you want to follow along, you can finish that wonderful story about how he first meets Mai. All right, catch you next time. Bye.